Hi everyone, Julie here with Paisleys and Polka Dots, and I wanted to take a moment to show you a quick tutorial video on how I put together the base pieces and the papers for the body. With this hat brim, it gets a little confusing as to how to match up the base papers and overlap them. It's kind of hard to write that in the instructions, so I thought I would take a moment and create this little tutorial for a video to show you how I do this. So the first thing you're going to want to do is lay out your base pieces. This is important because if you get, if you just place on his hat brim like this, then you might get his hat brim just a little too low, so that when you go to place his beard on, it's going to be lower than his body. So it really helps to kind of lay things out, get a visual of how your finished piece is going to be. And exactly the same on her. If you get her hat brim, if you just were to put her hat brim on and you were to place it too low, once you go to put your hair on, it might be too low, and then your little girl is not gonna, her hair is gonna get in the way of her standing up. So you want to place your pieces on so that you can visually see how it's going to be with your finished project. Okay, so I'm gonna move her over just a little bit, and we're gonna start with him. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you are going to want to trace your base piece, one of your papers. We're going to start with the green body here. And you're going to want to trace it so that your paper ends up to be above his hat brim. So his hat brim is here. You can see the paper all the way up here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the body like this. And I'll remove his pieces, and then we're going to trace around it. And we'll cut this out real quick. If you have other questions on how to, paint the wood, or how to, what kind of glue I use and other tips and tricks, you can find the process for doing all of the wood projects with the raccoon tutorial video that I have. It's located on the website, but if you're watching this from YouTube, I'll place the link to the other video below in the description for you. So if you have any questions on that process, you can go to that video, and it will show you how I do the entire process from start to finish. Okay, so we have the bottom body on. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these back on here. Okay, and then I'm going to place his hat like so. And I actually want to trace this one lower than his hat brim. Okay, so I'm going to place it like that so that it's lower than the hat brim, and I'm going to trace around this one now. And then we'll cut this one out. So, okay, so I'm going to lay it out like that. Okay, I'm going to put his beard and his brim back on where I'm going to want it, just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to remove his beard, and I'm going to trace just the bottom edge here of this little hat brim. And then I'm not going to cut on the line. I'm going to cut just above the line so that I don't have that edge right there. It's not going to matter too much with him because his beard mostly covers it. So as you can see, this is the line here. I'm cutting just above the line. Okay, so now when I lay it on, now I have that shape there. And like I said, doesn't matter as much with him because his beard's going to go over the top here. But you do see, when I put this back on, since I've cut it away, now you don't see the paper on either side right here. I'll show you. So if this was still on here, and you put this on where it was supposed to go, okay, you see these areas right here peeking out. So that's the part that we cut away. Okay, so now when we take that off and we put it back together, now you have a nice clean line where those two meet up. Okay, so now let's put him aside. I'll show you how I do her real quickly. Again, start with her body. Her pieces are all laid out here already. So I want to draw it taller than her hat brim. Okay, so we'll remove these, put her on like this. We'll cut out her body. Okay, and lay that on. We'll put her next piece on behind her here. I'm going to put the hat and the hair back on where I want it to be placed. Right about there is good. Okay, now I want to draw this lower again than the hat brim. So my hat brim's up here. I want to draw it lower. I need to place this better on here. Oops. Sometimes these little pieces can be tricky. They don't want to stay where they're supposed to stay. Okay. So we probably want it about right there. Okay, so let's pull these off again. I'm going to trace around this one. Now, some of our thicker gnomes, and they have this tiny little crevice here. I do like to use my mechanical pencil. I showed this on the other video in the process. But when it's thicker, you can't necessarily get your pencil inside of there. So you can poke out this lead, and then it's much easier to lightly trace in there. You can get your pencil in there. So the mechanical pencils work well for tracing. And again, I'm going to cut this out pretty quickly just to save on time. Okay, let's put these pieces back together now. Okay, so layer them just like you see here. Place her hat brim back on and her hair back on. Okay, so now we're going to cut away this part. So when we stick her nose on, it might cover up a little bit, but you're still going to see a little bit of that line. So we want to cut that away. So what you're going to do is you're going to remove the hair. Again, trace this line here. And then don't cut on the line, cut just above it. Okay, and because we cut her base or her lower body higher, that's still going to cover there for you. Okay, and then so we can put this back on, put her hair back on, and see now you have a nice edge there. It's all nice and hidden. Okay, so that's basically the process on how I put these bodies together, and that's it. Okay. If you have any other questions, you're welcome to email me at info@paisleysinpolkadots.com, and you can find these and other wood projects, other gnomes, other types of wood projects on the website at www.paisleysinpolkadots.com. Thanks for watching.